The Flash 794, Jeremy Adams writing, Roger Cruz on the art. So next part of the 1 minute war, Wally just went up in a puff of smoke in the Flashmobile last issue. This issue gives Irie a chance to shine. This is her on her own. Obviously Lady Death's there to confront her.
Miss Murder.
Yeah, or sorry, Miss Murder, not Lady Death. Close enough. Close.
That's an actual different character from another comics company.
Aye, but it means the same thing. Lady Death, Miss Murder. They're synonyms.
Kinda, yeah. But
anyway,
I do like that Irie does have her dad's sense of talking smack.
Oh yeah, she is trash talking the entire time.
Yeah.
My favorite thing of this though is we set up last issue that Superman, because he's Superman and not a regular person, he's maybe slightly aware of what's going on and he's maybe moving slightly. So he actually helps Irie here because it just so happens that Miss Murder's like standing in front of him. So he just very slowly grabs the back of her like cloak or whatever it is.
Cape, yeah.
Yeah. And when, basically just grabs a hold of it. So he basically helps out Irie in whatever way he can. And Irie thanks him before she goes, but he's still standing there kind of frozen because he still can't move properly.
Right.
But he did what he could just to help out. I love this idea of like frozen Superman standing there knowing what's happening and being aware of it, and like, what can I do without barely moving to help?
I got caught up reading this about like what's he perceiving this all as, like, because everyone else, this is all going on over the course of a minute, right? So like, how is Superman perceiving this? Is he seeing like flashes and blurs, or is he moving in like slow motion because he's fighting whatever, Speed Force device that they're using? And I thought about that for a long time, and it kind of tripped me up, so I stopped thinking about it and just, read the book for what it was, and Irie getting Superman's help, I really enjoyed.
It's a fun bit. Yeah, I wouldn't overthink it too much. Just go with it.
100%. It was just one of those things. So. But yeah, him grabbing Miss Murder's cape and giving Irie just enough time.
And then, then we get my favorite running thing in this issue, which is that Irie uses her brother like a wrecking ball.
Yeah, it's like the fastball special.
Yeah. But it's really funny because every time she does it, because her brother's still frozen still, he just looks like awkwardly posed. So she's just like, I almost get the idea that she's having like some sick satisfaction of being like just ragdolling him around like he's a plaything.
Yeah, it is like when you play one of those games that has ragdoll physics and you just see what you can make the character do. And so he's just and the art here, Cruz is having a lot of fun with the different positions that Jay's in.
Absolutely. So the rest of the family are getting attacked by the Fraction, of course, after their failed attempt to win the day. And of course, it's Irie comes in, great full-page spread, just as they're at their worst, and Jay kind of smiles and goes, "That's my granddaughter coming." And she's running, and she's got kind of her brother like trapped in like her lightning behind her.
Yep.
So she's dragging him.
Like the tether.
Yeah, with her. And starts just throwing him around into all the bad guys. So we get a couple of fun action sequences here. And what's really sad though is that Irie does all this not knowing that her dad, is, as far as we know right now, is dead. Right? Obviously, Barry later on, the cliffhanger of the issue is that Barry's got an idea that'll reverse everything that's happened, including you assume Iris as well, and everyone will be back, and that makes sense. But it's actually quite sad when she finds out. And like the panel of her hugging her mother, and they're both crying their eyes out.
Her and Linda, that got me big, because it's really not a Flash, without some form of tragedy. So this is, I feel like, because Irie will remember this, she would assume, right? Because the Flashes tend to not, forget these timey-wimey type things. It's why
I think it would be more dramatically interesting if she does remember. Yes, if in the future when her dad's going out to be the Flash, if she remembers, oh, you died, and I remember what it felt like when you died, even though it got reversed, that would mean, I think that would be a big deal for the character if she did.
Well, because I was gonna say, because that's what Barry and Iris kind of feel like, that they feel these other lives, and you would feel that Iris would feel, or Irie would feel the same. So.
I do love though that page where they are hugging Irie and Linda. It's the bottom of that page where you get like a bit of comic relief after the really sad moment where Linda looks up and just sees young Jay upside down in the wall and says, "Is that your brother?" As if like, what the hell? Like that legitimately made me laugh. It was such a good pick me up after the really sad part.
Yeah.
So really good stuff. Jay has been taken by the Fraction, though. Old Jay, that is, Jay Garrick, and he's being tortured, and he's just kind of like, you know,
fucking mess.
Yeah, he's just
like, is that all you got? It's very Indiana Jones.
Pretty much, yeah. He's going full Indiana Jones, quite right. And this is where Barry is with the others, and he has his idea. He writes a bunch of formula up on the board, and he's like, he basically says, I think I've got a way to win, but not just win, but to also make sure this never happened in the first place. So that sets up maybe our win conditions for the rest of the arc.
Yeah.
And then we have Jay breaking free as he's about to be dissected by the Fraction's, I don't know, scientist.
Yeah. Also, I do like that. So we've gotten a little, you know, some of the soldiers in the Fraction and the main leader of this, you know, we haven't seen the Queen or whatever. But I do like the, you know, some of the aliens that are hanging out with the Fraction. I gave it a very big sci-fi, you know, like a big sci-fi alien monster type stuff. Not that it was needed, but it's always welcome for me. So like the scientist that's going to cut into Jay, and, you know, Jay is able to you know, redirect the laser and get out of his cuffs
by spitting his tooth at him.
Yep.
Should we point out?
That's right.
So yeah, so we end the issue with Jay seemingly going Die Hard with like going through their ship with a big rifle, a big alien rifle in his hand.
I got a machine gun now. Ho ho ho.
Yeah, that's basically the cliffhanger. He's, you know, his shirt's all ripped, and
he looks rad as hell. Also, we didn't talk that we finally got Irie's code name,
and it's just okay.
Yeah, I like it, but I'm predisposed, you know. So she, based off of some of the the dialogue between her and Miss Murder, where, you know, she's talking about how, you know, they feel the thunder and everything, and there was also that vibe throughout of when Irie was coming. It's almost like they could feel it, you know, and it's because of the amount of determination this girl has that she declares herself Thunderheart, which not at all is what I was guessing, but I give it points for creativity. So you know,
I'm not super. I'm sure it'll grow on me. I'll get used to it, but it's not really striking me as a great title right now.
Yeah.
But you know,
well, I'm glad it just wasn't they just weren't going with, you know, like, because we have the Judy Garrick stuff as she's the Boom, so this feels kind of similar to that, you know, but also feels like a name a little kid would pick, right? Like, it's kind of, you know, a little bit much, and she is, I don't know how old she's meant to be, but she's, you know, a tween, you would think, like 10, 11. So, but yeah, I think it's fine. I think it fits her, and just the idea of her, you know, becoming Flash. It's only a temporary name, right? So she'll be Flash eventually.
No, this was a good issue. This, like, I think 1 Minute Wars delivered quite well. It's been very quick paced. I think the double shipping was the right choice for it, because it's moving at a sort of, you know, I think the pace for it's fitting that schedule quite nicely. No, I enjoyed this. I enjoyed that this gave Irie the spotlight for an issue, especially with that cliffhanger from last issue with Miss Murder showing up with Irie on her own. It felt right to have her not only have a big moment and like fighting back against her, but also getting to show up and be this, basically save the day with the rest of them. It was quite nice. And then having the emotional moment with her mother, you know, I had all the bits and pieces that I think you want. And it seems like Jay's going to get his spotlight maybe next issue based on this ending.
Yeah.
With him, you know, breaking free and being alone inside the enemy like building or ship.
And I wonder if that's going to give them the time that they need for Barry to execute this timey-wimey, go back and stop the Fraction from being able to invade.
Oh yeah, whatever he's planning. Maybe there'll be a treadmill involved or so. I don't know, but
yeah. Well, it also makes me wonder about Adams stating that future stuff in that one shot that we got with Jay and Irie as the Flash, and, you know, it's like the second incursion of the Fractions. I wonder if that's going to come back around, because they do the timey-wimey. It creates like this nexus, and we get like a big, huge Flash family, you know, able to push them back. So, Man, it just feels like Adams is having fun on this, and I'm enjoying the ride for sure. I'm glad listening to you talk about the Eclipso stuff got me to go back and get reinvested.
Which is so funny because I think it's like the weakest part of the run, but
No, yeah, but still, it was enough. Like once you started talking about, what's her name, Animal Man's kid, Maxine. Once you started bringing her up, I was like, I should go back because it feels like they're having fun. So that's what it's been. So, hopes for Wally. Hope he's all right. Hope they can piece him back together. From the time stream or
well,
whatever.
what do you mean hope? Like
we know he will.
Issue 800 is the celebration of Wally West, and then issue 801 is issue 1 is the new run, which is also starring Wally West. I'm feeling pretty confident that Wally West is going to make it out of this okay, Matt.
Yeah, I know, but still, just I want to see him come out of that explosion okay. That's all.
Well, he's going to. Calm down. You're such a mark. You know that? You're such a mark.
I am because DC has conditioned me that Wally's always in danger. Thanks, DDO. Even though I know he has nothing to do with this. It's just it's part of it now.
Oh dear. What are you rating the Flash 794, Matt?
I'm giving this an 8.5.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. I'm having a good time. I like these characters a lot. I like the focus on the supporting cast. I think it's a big part of comics that was missing for so long that it's nice that it's really been embraced with a lot of the current runs. Flash being no exception.